This is Marvin Baroota from So Legit Customs, and you are tuned into Women's Hoops.
Well, you may have seen Angel Reese playing in custom-painted shoes this season.
What's the story behind these Joker shoes?
They're designed by local artist Marvin Baroota.
He makes all these ideas up on his own, and he only does it for her.
Shy Barbie, Baltimore Barbie when she played against Baltimore, Skytown when they were wearing their Skytown jerseys.
She doesn't know what they're going to be until he drops them off, sometimes at 5 a.m.
Just let me do my thing. She says, I trust you. So there's a lot coming up.
What inspired you to start doing this?
I'm a big football fan. And I, took art and stuff, and I was always like, I always had the vision. I was never really like, because there's visionaries and there's like artists, I'm kind of like in the middle. Like there's some people that could do like portraits and stuff. That stuff is like, they're in their own world. So I'm like in the middle of both, and, the shoe game in Chicago, obviously, you know how it is. So I was trying to, get it going with like football, because football's their cleats are very like basic and boring. And then 8 years later, now I'm finally in the basketball game. So
could you just talk a little bit about the first celebrity athlete that you customized cleats for, and how it just took off from there?
So I was working with Danny Trevathan. At the time he was our linebacker. And he had just came to Chicago. I was like, hey, dude, like, I was just like blowing him up through social media. I'm like, can we get something done for, I think we did it for Halloween against the Vikings. I was like to him, can we do something for this? And he's like, yeah, like, I'm down for anything. Just let's do a Halloween theme. So he posted on Twitter, got a little retweets, kind of blew up. And then I started reaching out to like Tyrann Mathieu, who also was in LSU, where Angel Reese is from, which is kind of cool. And I was like, hey, like let's do it. And that was through Twitter. And then that was like where it took off right after that.
So, you've customized for several athletes. What's that process like though? Once you've reached out to them, they're like, hey, let's do it. Or, they reach out to you and say, hey, I want you to customize some kicks for me. How does that work? Like from you starting, do you both kind of go into the creative process, or do you freestyle? Like, how does it work?
We'll make this about Angel because that's been more relevant and a better communication, because she's very open to do whatever. So how I got in touch with Angel was through Shaquille O'Neal's son, Sharif, through social media. So back in like 2017, we were just like, back and forth DMs. We tried doing some things, didn't work out, but we still kept that relationship. So I was like, hey, like, I'm trying to do some stuff for Angel. She just came to Chicago. So he connected me through her. And then boom, an hour later, she messages me. And then the first few pairs, she told me like, hey, I want this and this, like Shy Barbie, one of them, Baltimore Barbie when she played against Baltimore, and then Skytown when they were wearing their Skytown jerseys. But then she goes, do whatever you want after that. So this upcoming pair that I did was Joker. I was like, what do you like? So she gave me a list of things she likes. That way I can like kind of visualize and put, brainstorm more. I was like, you want to do Joker then? Because she was like, into like comics and all this kind of stuff. Just a, typical person just likes comics and, that kind of stuff. And then I was like, hey, like, let's do Joker. She just gives me creative freedom to do whatever I want. So there's sometimes she does like for the Maryland pair, she's like, it'd be nice if we could do like the flag somewhere. So I'm like, okay. So then I look at the shoe, see how I can piece it together. And that's where I got like the flag on like the toe boxes, because that's where it stands out more, stuff like that. It just depends, but she gives me a lot of creative freedom, which is fun.
How long does it usually take? I know I saw her talking about the Baltimore Barbie ones, and she was like, yeah, he usually does them in 24 hours. Are you like, nah, I do it for you in 24 hours sometimes. So what does it typically take though? Let's say if I wanted to order some, or if the usual time that it takes for you to actually put the pieces together.
I usually give clients about 3 weeks, 2 weeks, just because I'm backed up for that long. During football season, you're looking at a month, sometimes 2 months, depends on if I'm painting or sewing. But for like the Joker pair, that took me a long time. I want to say about 12 to 15 hours. I was up until 5 a.m. because they were leaving for the game the next day. So I just had to like, bang it out and stuff. Luckily, I got the shoes on hand. We have another 15 pairs left. So there's a lot coming up. But usually I get the shoes. She gives me the idea. I don't even mock it up. I'm just like, let me do my thing. Because if you mock it up, it doesn't turn out how you want it to turn out.
Mhm.
Some people are very like, they're married to that idea. So I'm like, hey, just let me do my thing. And she says, I trust you. And she said they're the best ones yet.
So what else you got cooking up though? Like any hints on some other things you have with the Joker? Or are you just seeing how the season plays out and are kind of going off of that? Is that how your creativity is working with her at least?
Yeah, I would say both. We want to kind of do like I want to pitch the idea of like Batman and Robin kind of thing. Maybe some stuff about Chicago, if there's any like political views she has, if current events, stuff like that. Just kind of, bringing more awareness to whatever this situation may be.
All right, let's have honesty hour real quick though. So we
What's
know
up?
that you, of course, customize for a lot of Chicago athletes, but if there was one athlete that's currently playing now, no matter if they're in Chicago or not, who you could customize some kicks for, who would it be?
WNBA, I'd say Caitlin Clark.
Okay.
Obviously. NFL, I would go current, probably Justin Jefferson. Back when he was in LSU. I don't know, for some reason, I think like Chicago.
You tied to LSU? What is it?
Yeah.
Are you like, were you supposed to go there in another life or what?
I swear, it feels like it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of LSU players. So I would say Justin Jefferson. Like I said, we talked a few times via social media, and then he just blew up the next summer, and then it gets lost after that. And then NBA, probably Steph Curry.
And the thing with Steph too, he strikes me as a guy who would probably wear custom kicks on the court.
Yeah.
Because there are some, who just keep it like straight.
Mhm.
But I could definitely see him because I feel like he may have done that like in his earlier career. He may have rocked some custom kicks on the court.
Yeah, it depends. Like he's with Under Armour, so Under Armour will have it outsourced, so they'll like do whatever they need to do to get it done.
You don't just do shoes though, right? What are some other things that you've done for people? Like, have you done hats or anything like that?
I've done helmets.
Okay.
There was we were doing something with the NFL for Russell Wilson and Martellus Bennett, but same thing. They're just like, I've never made helmets or anything, but they're like, hey, can you whip something up? I was like, sure. Never did it, but I'll get it done.
Can fans maybe send you suggestions? And not saying that you wouldn't, necessarily take them, but can they send you suggestions to kind of like help you with your process?
Yeah, she had mentioned it in that video, and she's like, if fans have suggestions, they can send it our way. So I think we're gonna have like a tweet sent out, and then have people like retweet it or DM me or DM her. Probably DM me is probably better, and then I'll like minimize it to like top 15 or top 20 because I know it's gonna be a lot of people, maybe even top 30, and just have her select maybe not just one, maybe 10 of them, because we have so to do, and maybe auction them off or maybe do whatever we can to just get it going.
How has this, changed for you as far as your business, if any? Of course, you were already doing this well before her, but Angel Reese, of course, has a lot of eyes on her, has been bringing more awareness to the WNBA with this great dynamic rookie class. Since she has told fans that you are the one customizing her shoes, have you been getting more people reaching out to you at all?
It's picking up, like my social media for sure, like via Twitter. All the tweets about like her shoes have gotten maybe over 700,000-800,000 views per tweet. Usually I was in like the 20s to 50s to maybe 100,000. But I don't really like that. To me, I don't really care. I like creating the product and just seeing the customer happy, and that's why a lot of people go like, "Oh, like, would you do it for anyone else?" I'm like, everyone's money is the same money, It's all the same color, so whatever pays the bills, I'll do.
How can people find you on social, and then if they want to reach out to you about doing some things for them, tell us about your website.
You can go to soullegitcustoms.com, and there's like an inquiry box on the bottom, or via social media. Social media is a lot quicker because I get an email and all that kind of stuff. And it gets confusing, but social media is the fastest and quickest way, and that's Marvin Baroota, my first and last name.